Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and in today's video I am going to rank the 4K Ultra HD Blu-rays of the Stanley Kubrick movies. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Movie Guy 365. Okay, in this video I will be ranking the Stanley Kubrick movies that appear on the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray formats. Now, I've done a few of these videos before, the first one on Steven Spielberg movies and then Christopher Nolan. So I thought I would give this legendary filmmaker his due with several of his movies now on 4K Ultra HD. And of course there are going to be a few that are in the director's library that aren't actually on the format yet, such as Barry Lyndon or Eyes Wide Shut. I expect that to change in the future, so we're just going to be focusing on the movies that are currently out on 4K disc. I am a huge fan of the filmmaker. His entire catalog is something that as a cinema watcher, I really just embrace, and it's inspired me creatively. And these are iconic movies. He's got such a great, presence behind the camera, and his storytelling is just legendary. I really feel that few filmmakers can match his quality. And just honestly, I'm so glad that these are 4K Blu-ray. It's just a lot of these movies just mean so much to me. But I thought I would go ahead and give you my ranking of the films, but I encourage you, please put in the comments section, how would you rank the Stanley Kubrick films on 4K Ultra HD? And just a quick note I should mention, this will not be about the movies themselves, as awesome as they would be, and that list would be a little bit different. This is really going to be based off the 4K disc, both picture and audio quality. Alright, let's not waste any time, let's dive right in. At number 6, that will go to Dr. Strangelove. This movie was originally part of the Columbia Classics Collection Volume 1 that was released about a year ago, and has since been given an individual release by Sony. Now, as far as the film itself on 4K Blu-ray, I think it looks and sounds great. This movie's a satire, so there's not going to be a whole lot when it comes to just any kind of action moments. They are in the film, and I think they do sound very good, but it's very front heavy in that department. And the black and white image looks great. The HDR really brings out the black levels and shadow detail very well. And overall, I think it really represents what a black and white film can look like on the 4K format. It's a great movie. I feel one of Kubrick's underrated films, and you should definitely check it out for yourself on 4K Blu-ray. At number 5, that will go to A Clockwork Orange. This is the most recent release from the director on 4K Ultra HD, and also I feel his most controversial. Now, when you get this 4K disc, it's going to be, I would say, a very good upgrade. Now, the HDR does a very subtle enhancement to color, and black levels I think look really good, but the winner for this one is the increase in detail. The native 4K resolution looks fantastic here, and while the movie itself is not, I would say, inherently beautiful to look at, you still get a very nice visual presentation on 4K. And the audio, I think, is really good. It includes the original mono track, which in my opinion, I feel is the preferred way to listen to the film, but the 5.1 is also very serviceable. It's a good movie to watch. It's kind of hard, to get through it sometimes, but I think if you have the 4K disc, you're definitely going to get the best possible version of the film. At number 4, that will go to Full Metal Jacket. Now, Full Metal Jacket was one of the first Stanley Kubrick films I ever watched, and it's resonated with me ever since. And it also makes for a great 4K disc. I would say visually it looks great. Both segments, the first half and the back half, have a different visual look to them, and I think they're both equally done well with HDR. The HDR grading, once again, is a little bit on the subtle side, but I think it really works in all the areas that matter. And when it comes to the audio, I think it's also really well rendered. The back half of the film, especially with the war scenes, I think it gives a good energy to it. The 4K disc of Full Metal Jacket is a great presentation from Warner Brothers, and you should definitely see this one for yourself. At number 3, that will go to The Shining. This movie is iconic for many reasons, and honestly, the 4K disc is also something you should definitely have in your library. Visually, with the addition of HDR and Dolby Vision, the movie has never looked better. The atmosphere is well represented here, and the increase in detail is also something you should definitely see for yourself. Not to be outdone, I feel that the audio is also very good here. It is rendered at a 5.1, and there was a little bit of controversy without including the mono mix, which, if in my opinion, you should definitely include that if it's available. but still you get those iconic score beats and just the overall atmosphere really sound great here on 4K. This is a wonderful 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. If you're a fan of the film, you absolutely should have this. Now, normally when I make these lists, when I come to my number one, it's usually a clear-cut winner. But for this particular list, with the last two films from the director's library on 4K Ultra HD, I had a really difficult time going, between 1 and 2. It was a matter of an inch. I mean, it really I think both of these films are iconic in their own way, but they are top-notch 4K presentations. So while I hesitate to give this one a number 2, and more likely this is kind of like a 1A, 1B situation. So just keep that in mind with my last two picks. So for my number 2, that will go to 2001: A Space Odyssey. This movie is just so beautiful to look at on 4K. The Dolby Vision grading is exceptional. This film on 4K looks like it could have been shot yesterday. It is that good. Grain looks natural and organic. The colors pop off the screen. And just the overall look of the film is, in my opinion, breathtaking. And the audio, the DTS 5.1 sounds fantastic. It's a great overall immersive track. Its iconic score and just everything works here. So yes, 2001: A Space Odyssey is technically my number 2, but it really should sit alongside my number 1. And please, do yourself a favor, pick this one up immediately. And for my number 1 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray from director Stanley Kubrick, that will go to Spartacus. Spartacus is released by Universal Pictures, and it's a great representation of what 4K can really do for a classic film. This is classic cinema, no doubt about it, and it's one of Kubrick's more mainstream movies. The movie has never looked and sounded better on 4K disc. The HDR and Dolby Vision grading really elevate this whole movie to another level, and the set designs, costuming, locations, it all looks great here. It's reference quality. And not to be outdone, the DTS:X audio mix, it's wonderful. It's a great immersive experience. The fight sequences really come to life, and atmosphere is also very key, and that iconic score also just top-notch. Even if you're not a Kubrick fan, you can't deny the epic nature of this film, and the 4K disc really just delivers on every front. So that is my ranking of the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray discs from director Stanley Kubrick. Now it's your turn in the comments section below. How would you rank the movies from the director? What are some of your favorites? Let's talk about it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.